Yes, guys. Hello and welcome back to another Spurs-related YouTube video and podcast. I hope everyone's doing very well today. Today, as you can see by the title of the video, we are talking all things news, the last 24 hours, Tottenham news, bringing you all up to speed, the potential signings that are coming in at Tottenham, and also any other links that are involved. Today, I'm joined alongside Andre of SpursRelated, all the way from Canada, as always. Andre, how you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm doing great. Some exciting things to talk about and some not so exciting, but the window is always filled with twists and turns. So expect more of these for sure.
Absolutely. We're deciding to do a short, concise video today, guys. Hopefully you like the idea of this little catch up. And of course, it's a great time to put your comments in the chat where we are responding to every single comment at the moment. I think the last video, there was 30 or 40 of you that commented. Really loving the support at the moment. So please do smash the thumbs up, comment below, and of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are growing very quickly and we appreciate all the support. Andre, without further ado, let's crack straight on into the news. What is going on in the world of Tottenham Hotspur right now?
Perfect. So the biggest news that we can talk about at the moment is that David Raya, the final details on a price fee is being discussed right now between Tottenham and Brentford. Very exciting news, to see that we're really trying to go for a goalkeeper. And I mean, maybe this should have happened a year ago where we found someone, but it's happening. Lloris is on his way out. And if we don't get someone in, then we're going to be stuck with a backup goalkeeper. No offense to the backup goalkeeper we have, of course. Personal terms are basically agreed at this point. He's pushing for that move. And I mean, it's a step up, really, especially, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling this sort of excitement over this project. And it really looks like Postecoglou is sort of hyping up the fans. He wants to create a squad that we're proud of, that we're going to enjoy watching. And I think this would be the greatest first step to take.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we talked about it with Euro Expert on another video. If you haven't checked it out, do check it out. But David Raya, fantastic goalkeeper, amazing distribution, great shot stopper. Brentford won £40 million. I think we're going to try and get him in for 30 to 35 and hard bargain. But I don't think there's too much competition, although you never know with these deals. Another team could come in last minute, but I think we are the front runners. Personal terms are agreed. I think he's set to stay in London. His heart is in London. And I think, like you said, it's a step up. So this makes complete sense for all parties. David Raya could be our keeper for the next 5-10 years. Who knows? It's exciting times for sure.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do some sort of multi-payment installment type of deal, as Daniel Levy has been doing for these past few signings, which, they're actually pretty smart, especially if you're a little bit tight on things, which it looks like it might be. We've made a few, all of the things that he did are sort of coming to bite him right now. So maybe some multi-installment deal will be needed for this one. But that's the biggest update for David Raya.
Exactly. And just quickly, like, we're still trying to, figure out our financial situation with Kulusevski. Are we going to get him on a permanent deal? There's also Pedro Porro. I don't feel like we've fully paid off that one. Some people would probably put that financial bracket in for this season that we're paying that off. So, like you said, there's many different ways to get this over the line. Maybe we pay 10 million every year for the next 4 or whatever happens. But I think the total fee that will be agreed won't be 40 million because Tottenham don't value him at 40 million pounds. And of course, Daniel Levy is in the driving seat on that one. So we know that, if we do mess around and there is competition, let's hope we don't regret it. But I guess personal terms are agreed. So we should be fine. But touch wood, this goes over the line, right?
Oh, exactly. I wouldn't even be surprised if they put add-ons if we make certain competitions. So be on the lookout for something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And look at that kit swap. Beautiful kit swap. Shout out Youth Industry Design on Instagram for that one. We put it on our Instagram. And if you don't follow our Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, guys, do check it out. All our links are in the description below. The main one we have is Instagram. We have about 66,000 followers on there, and we post daily news, all the best tier 1 sources, and we always keep you up to date with the most reliable sources as well, which is important. So do go and check it out. If you're from YouTube rather than Instagram, it'd be good to see you guys over there. And put in the comments you're from YouTube, and we'll reply over there. Andre, next bit of news.
Great. So the next big news is, this one's actually not that good of news, to be honest. Newcastle are pulling ahead in the James Maddison race. That has been a priority player for us, but as we might have predicted in previous episodes, as most of you Spurs relatables might have predicted, Newcastle, if they were to come in and get him, they have so much to offer compared to us right now. They have Champions League football. They have all of this this huge project where they're just bringing in all these players, and I'm sure he'd be very excited to join them. But at the moment, they are pulling ahead. The biggest, I think, step for them right now is finding a fee between them and Leicester. And if Newcastle is out there sort of discussing what would be an appropriate fee for Maddison, could we even, maybe that price tag might be too much for us?
100%. I think Newcastle will price us out of this one. The fact that we're stumbling over 40 million for Raya makes it very, very obvious that we're going to stumble on this one as well. Even if, Newcastle, say, bid 35 million, I believe Maddison's between 30 and 40 million, especially with Leicester being relegated. They have to get him off their books in terms of the wages as well. He's not going to be a championship player for next season, that's for sure. I think Newcastle may bid 35, 40 million, and there's no way we beat that. Plus, like you said, the package of the Champions League, the incredible wages that he'll be offered as well. They've pretty much got an unlimited pot there that they haven't even sort of gone to yet. They've been actually pretty sensible on the money so far, considering how much they have at their disposal. So I think we're out of the race on this one, but I guess you never know. It's never over till it's over, but I fully expect Newcastle to get Maddison done, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not to mention that, especially now that they've been relegated, this is the guy that's going to get them a lot of money to get them through the next season because, well, they really won't be making much in this upcoming season.
Exactly. Spot on. So, guys, let us know, are you gutted about missing out on James Maddison, or maybe it's a blessing in disguise and maybe there's another player you'd rather have over James Maddison? Smash a comment in the comments below. Andre, should we move on again?
Oh, yeah. Next one's also a pretty interesting one. The big news being that from the Daily Telegraph that there might be some stumbling blocks for any potential move for Harry Kane. The big one being that Daniel Levy is wanting, I think his price tag is somewhere over 100 million euros. Now, I don't know about you, but the minute the player starts hitting 28, 29, asking for that much money is a little tricky, especially when you have young players like Mbappe or Haaland running around. And the biggest twist, I think personally, the biggest stumbling block being that yesterday Mbappe announced that he won't be extending his stay. He sent a formal letter, as talked about by Fabrizio Romano. And PSG obviously were very alarmed that he did that. And they're not planning on letting him go for free. So they're probably going to sell him. And Real Madrid, who have been in talks to possibly get Kane, especially after Benzema left, it looks like they might go for Mbappe. That could be the case. However, there was a leaked comment on social media that Florentino Perez said that they're planning on getting him when he's free. However, things could change. PSG might, why would you let someone like Mbappe go for free? That would be the biggest. That'd be the biggest mistake of your life as a club.
It's quite similar to our situation, really, isn't it? I mean, we
Yeah.
could be scratching our heads and wondering why we let Kane go next year on a free if he was to stay, right? Because his contract's over in 2024. So if we kept him for another year and he doesn't decide to extend his contract at Tottenham, we'll be in a similar situation to PSG, where we will be letting a player that's probably worth over 100 million pounds go on a complete free. Yes, Mbappe's a younger player. Yes, Mbappe's price, you could argue, is more because he's 23, 24 years old. However, I think it's a similar situation, and I think you're right. And also, Fabrizio Romano updated that today and said Mbappe came out with a statement saying PSG shouldn't have been surprised about this decision, as he made a formal letter to them expressing that he won't extend his contract all the way back in July 2022. So nearly a year ago, he actually let PSG know that he wouldn't be extending past 2024. So there's no surprise there from PSG, although there's been a bit of drama, and it's almost as if PSG have been surprised about this, almost to cause a bit of a wrath. So yeah, like you said, the obvious purchasers of Mbappe is Real Madrid, and of course, one of the favourites to sign Kane is Real Madrid, and they're not going to get both. So fingers crossed, from a selfish point of view, that Real Madrid go for Mbappe. But then I guess Man United aren't over the question. However, some tier 2 and 3 sources have said that Man United aren't necessarily in a position to sign Harry Kane this summer. So all the gates are heading towards Kane staying, although we know that there's a long way to go yet, right?
Oh yeah, and don't forget that Manchester United right now are in talks for new ownership if it happens.
Correct.
And if it happens, the whole game changes because now you have new owners who would be willing to spend.
And they'll want to
And
make a marquee signing. They'll want to prove a point in their first window. And apparently, as per some sources yesterday, the Man United takeover is finally going to happen. 5 point something ridiculous billion pound takeover, clearing all Man United's previous debts. And so, to prove a point, could they go? Man United are crying out for a number 9, a world class number 9. Could they offer us 120 million? Daniel Levy doesn't sound like he's going to budge for anything less than 100 million. I'm not awfully surprised by that. I'm sure you aren't as well, Andre. So
oh yeah.
maybe Man United do have this financial takeover. Obviously, all the documents will take absolutely ages, but who's to say that at the end of August we think we're keeping Harry Kane and suddenly a bid comes on our table from Manchester United PLC for 120 million? Who knows? I'm
Yeah.
playing devil's advocate, right?
No, no, definitely. It's very interesting. The window just is going to start, and there's so much that can happen throughout the summer. And the big thing too that we left out is that Mbappe has already apologized to Florentino Perez over what happened when he signed the new PSG contract. When it seemed like he was going to sign for Real Madrid. So at least from his relationship with Real Madrid, he's good. So it's just a
Yeah,
matter of what Real Madrid decides to do, what happens with Manchester United's ownership, and
yeah.
what Daniel Levy decides to do with Harry Kane in the end. Because, yeah, he could go for free, and we'll be a club who let Harry Kane go for free. Or he'll
Exactly.
go
From the
for big
sound of
money.
that, it sounds like Mbappe's tried to sort of rekindle the relationship with Real Madrid, rebuild those burnt bridges. And yeah, it's just pointing towards Real Madrid getting Mbappe. I see it happening. I think a lot of people probably put them down as favourites, sign Mbappe. So this has a big implication on the Harry Kane transfer saga. And I'm sure, we've got many, many more videos talking about Harry Kane coming up, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Just like almost every summer recently, there's always Harry Kane drama. So
Yeah, since we
we'll s-
started the channel. But let's move on from Harry Kane now. Let's talk the next bit of transfer news, which is Clement Lenglet. Tottenham and Barcelona discussing Lenglet for a potential permanent news. You got more on this one, Andre?
yeah. So the big thing from coming from Mundo Deportivo is that there's a possible 10 million euros deal happening. Ideally, they don't really care too much about selling him for not that much money. They just want to clear the wage spending. That's sort of Barcelona's biggest priority, you could say. And you've seen there's a lot of players that are currently on their way out that are probably on humongous wages, right? Jordi Alba, I think I saw his potential
Yeah.
to go to Inter Miami, Busquets possibly to Inter Miami. But all these players that are on their way out, and Lenglet's probably one of them as well. They probably have other priorities in mind in terms of center backs. And personally, for me, I gotta say, I am not a fan of this player, and I'm really upset that this is happening. But I know that you feel differently, so please enlighten me here. How do you feel about him?
I wouldn't say I'm angry about this because I've heard the figure that we would sign him on. The price we would sign him on is £6 million, 6 million euros, right? So €6 million for a pretty experienced centre back that could also be used as a backup. Now, the way I would get angry about this is if we went, we need a centre back. We've signed Lenglet, done. No, Lenglet is squad depth, and then after that, we have to sign a world-class centre-back or a centre-back that's going to be a starter for many years to come, that's going to partner Romero very, very well. We cannot just go, yes, sorry, not Laporte, crumbs, Lenglet done. See, I'm thinking about Laporte now as the world-class
Oh
one.
yeah.
We can't just sign Lenglet and go, done. That is not our centre-back problem solved. 6 million euros, though, if we get him for that, I actually think that's a good price. I didn't think Lenglet was too bad at the end of last season. I actually think he was one of our better centre-backs. So why not?
Well, I'll say this. Saying that he was one of our better center backs is not saying much. Because other than Romero, the difference in quality
True.
between him and the rest of the center backs is pretty big. So, but you know what? You're right. If he is squad depth for 6 million, 10 million or so, fine.
Yeah.
But we need a marquee center back, and we cannot just be happy with this purchase only. So if this ends up being our squad depth, Lenglet, and then Dyer and them are not even in the question anymore, then fine. I can be okay with that. I'll learn to accept it, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Let us know in the comments, guys, what you think about Clement Lenglet potentially moving to a permanent. Back to Spurs, 6 million euro fee. Even if we got him for 10, I think it's a decent deal. But anyway, like I said, he's not a starting centre back for me. But he's an option. Last
Yeah.
bit of news on the video. Reo Hatate of Celtic, the midfielder. A little bit of news coming out today about him. I believe from Sammy Mockbell of The Telegraph. But Andre, I'll leave you to give us the news.
Yeah, so the main thing, 25 years old. He's right there hitting his peak. You know, he played 45 matches last season, 9 goals, 11 assists, 78% pass completion, and 83% tackle success rate. So that is an overall decent midfielder. However, you do have to remember he did play for the Scottish League. But under Ange Postecoglou, he knows the players he wants. He knows which players could possibly reach even higher who haven't hit their ceiling yet. And if
Exactly.
Ange is asking to bring him in, I would trust him. You know, why not? That
100%.
is a player that he's played with before. He's seen what he can do. I've seen some highlights, and I mean, this guy's, I think the best thing that I've seen from him that he can do is that he's very good at just dispossessing the ball from the opposing team and getting it back to us. So he plays more of a midfield, but on a more defensive style, lots of shoulder to shoulder, getting the ball back, booting it out, just basically stopping the attack. That's his role
Yeah,
in the center mid position.
yeah, he's almost like a Wanyama of the past, and maybe a little bit Højbjerg type player. Maybe doesn't get forward quite as much, but like you said, he just completely dispossesses the opponent, gets things ticking back into the midfield. And I think, I would be surprised if we don't get a player from Celtic this window. But I'm sure there's more to come on that, Andre. For sure. Let us know about Raya Hatate in the comments, guys. Do you want to sign him? And obviously, if there's any more to cover on him, we will do so in upcoming videos. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that little roundup, news roundup of the last 24 hours. If you did, let us know in the comments below and smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you are new. Andre, thanks for joining me. And as always, guys, remember, come on, you Spurs!